for each problem, factor out the GCF, check the result. And so the first thing we have to do for each of these is determine the GCF. And we've shown how to do that in a previous video. So, for 12x and negative 10, the first thing that I'll note is that the GCF is 2. So what that means is I can write 12x minus 10 as 2 times something. And so another way to think of that is I can write the first term, 12x is 2 times 6x, and we have minus, and I can write the second term, 10, is 2 times 5. Notice how the 2 is a common factor for both terms. So then the factored form can be written as 2 times 6x minus 5. Now, if you think about the distributive property, we would take this, what we've just written, in the other direction, and we can use the distributive property now to check our work. So now the check is 2 times 6x minus 5 is 2 times 6x minus 2 times 5, which is 12x minus 10. So that checks out. Now it's an important distinction. This 2 times 6x minus 5 is the answer. This is the factored form. All right, let's look at another exercise. 5a cubed minus 10a squared plus 15a. The GCF for this expression is 5a. So that means I can write this expression, this polynomial, as 5a times something. Let's see, 5a times the first term, I would have to multiply that by a squared, minus 5a times 2a plus 5a times 3. And so then the factored form is 5a times a squared minus 2a plus 3. And again, I'll box that in red. That's the factored form. The check is the distributive property. So let's check our work now. 5a times a squared minus 5a times 2a plus 5a times 3 is 5a cubed minus 10a squared plus 15a. So that checks out. $15x squared plus 15x. The GCF is 15x. So I can write 15x squared plus 15x as 15x times x. 15x times x is 15x squared plus 15x times, let's see, 15x times 1 is 15x. So that one's a little bit tricky. You have to be careful about those ones. So then the factored form is 15x times the quantity x plus 1. And let me box that in. All right, let me check my work. Applying the distributive property gives 15x times x plus 15x times 1, and that is 15x squared plus 15x. So that checks out. And exercise D. We have 18mn to the third minus 30m to the fourth n to the second. The GCF is 6m n to the second. So then my original expression is equal to 6m n to the second times, let's see, what? I would have to multiply that by 3n to get to the first term, the 18m n to the third, minus 6m n to the second times what? 6m n to the second times, well, 6 times 5 gives me the 30. I'd have to multiply the m to the first by an m to the third to get m to the fourth, and I'd have to multiply n to the second times 1 to get n to the second, so I don't need any more n on that term. So then the factored form is 6m n to the second times 3n minus 5m cubed. You box that in. That's the factored form. Let me check my work. So let's see, 6m n to the second by 3n minus 6m n to the second by 5m cubed. 6 times 3 is 18. I'd have an m, and then I have n to the second times n, that's n to the third, minus 6 times 5 is 30. M times m to the third is m to the fourth, and then I have an n to the second. So that checks out.